entire story is very important because the statistics are staggering. It's really more than a statistic. We're talking about people. 1 out of every 18 young men in the United States will end up behind bars. 1 out of every 18. And for African-American men, the number is much higher. Lisa Bloom is the author of this book, Swagger, 10 Urgent Rules for Raising Boys in an Era of Failing Schools, Mass Joblessness, and Thug Culture. She joins me right now. Lisa, there you are in New York. I just saw you in L.A. A couple days ago. Good to see you again. Before I get into all of this, this is an important issue. It has been talked about, but you're addressing it head on. And real quickly, tell me about this book and the interest in this book so far.
Well, this is a book for parents of boys, and it's already the #1 parenting book on Amazon.com just 4 days after its release. We did a whole hour on Dr. Phil on it this week, and it's really been doing extremely well, and I'm very grateful to everybody who's reading it. I talk about the 4 cultural forces that are hammering our boys, our failing schools, our jobless economy that's particularly hitting young men very hard right now, thug culture and all the negative messages that are getting out to our boys about what it is to be a man, to be emotionally numb, to rape women, to beat up gay men, to use illegal drugs. That's a lot of the messages that they're getting in rap and hip-hop music and even from movies and TV. And the 4th is the one that you addressed, the culture of mass incarceration. The U.S. currently imprisons more of its own people than any other country in the world, Don, and more than any other country in human history. 93% of inmates are men. More prisons are being built every day to house the next generation of American boys. Yeah. That's an outcome that no parent wants for their son. So the second half of the book are the rules, that what the research shows and how to protect your son from that kind of an outcome.
Okay, Lisa, hold on. I want to give you some. You said we medicate, we discipline, we suspend, we expel our boys from school at quadruple the rate of girls. And in the United States is incarcerates men, right? Young men is #1 in the world. At the rate of incarceration.
That's right. So the problem begins as early as preschool, when little boys are made to feel that they're not welcome there. They tend to be wigglier, more kinetic than girls, but they have to sit still very quietly and listen. And boys get expelled from preschool at 4 times the rate of girls. I mean, who knew anybody got expelled from preschool, right? The problem continues through elementary school. If boys aren't reading well by the 4th grade, they're tagged for a very difficult time at school and probably become high school dropouts. Yeah. The majority of our African-American boys drop out of high school. That, to me, should be a screaming headline every night. Only a bare majority of our white boys graduate high school. And high school dropouts have a very hard time in this economy.
And listen, the answer to the question about why it's important for young men to catch up, I mean, that's better for society, for all of us, for the women in our culture, for themselves, for everyone. It's a simple question. But listen, I want to talk to you about this. You talk about the media a lot, not just the news media, but media in general, meaning records, videos, pop culture, all of that. You say they're getting away with the message that being a man means being a thug, and they celebrate it, and I see it as well, and then it shows up in culture with the saggy pants, with the way people look, with how people treat women, how they treat each other. How's the media getting away with that, you said?
Well, that's a good question. You know, some of the biggest music companies in the world are celebrating rape, beating up gay men, gun violence, and illegal drug use. In fact, 2/3 of the top-selling rap songs today by the biggest artists, and I call them out by name in the book, artists like Kanye West, Jay-Z, Eminem, some beloved artists have some truly sick lyrics, and I have them quoted in the book. Parents, take the earbuds out of your kids' ears. Listen to the music. If you don't understand it, Google the lyrics. If you still don't understand it, you can look up the slang on urbandictionary.com. And then talk to your kids about your values and emphasize to them this does not reflect your values. In fact, it's a trap for our sons because if they mimic the language, if they mimic the behavior, they're getting in trouble in school, they're getting in trouble with the law, and they're in for a very difficult life.
Hey, Lisa, in the short time we have left here, you mentioned some very prominent people in rap, hip-hop, pop culture, and I know what the response is going to be right away. Why are you picking on these people? You don't understand rap. You don't understand hip-hop. Yeah. They do some very good things. No one is denying that. Some of the music is very good. But there's always room for improvement, especially if something is detrimental to a culture and detrimental to young people.
Well, I'm not going to apologize for calling out people who advocate raping little girls and who cheer and celebrate that kind of music and talk about mutilating them and all of the sick ways that they do. In fact, these are multi-millionaire artists, and they're being supported by some of the biggest music companies in the world. I don't think we have to feel sorry for them. I think they should be ashamed of themselves. But the more important thing to me is that parents need to be aware of what our culture is teaching boys. I call the book Swagger because swagger is the #1 most popular song lyric across the last decade and across genres. Even the Jonas Brothers are singing about it. Yeah. But when our boys really do swagger, when they're arrogant, it's harmful to them. It hurts them in school and their emotional health. And I just want parents to know how they can act, how they can protect their sons. And that's what the book is all about.
I'm glad you said that because I was going to say the book is called Swagger. It's by Lisa Bloom. It's doing very well, and you should get it. I think the information is amazing. Thank you, Lisa Bloom. Very courageous of you to take on this topic, right?
Thank you so much, Don. Have a great evening.
You too. I want you to take a look at this.